This does preserve the off-kilter David Lynchian feel of the original character interactions, but comes across as a little bit jarring at times given the vastly improved standards of storytelling we've seen in more recent horror landmarks.
What's a big dum-dum like you doing here anyway?
Hey, that's not very nice.
I was no less entertained by Silent Hill 2's quirky characters this time around, even if I never became emotionally invested in their plights to the same extent I did with the supporting casts in The Last of Us or even Alan Wake 2. Regardless,
I can't even with that guy. Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of tonight's content. So, one thing I didn't realize when I started my Halloween content this year was that this year was going to see the release of the Silent Hill 2 remake. In fact, I've already started my playthrough of the game, and I am happy to report that so far I am loving the hell out of it. It is exactly what I wanted from a remake of Silent Hill 2. And I was actually debating whether or not I was going to cover it this year. In the same way I looked at, the Resident Evil 2 remake along with the original Resident Evil 2. But after much deliberation, I decided that I'm going to put Silent Hill 2 off till next year because I haven't had a chance to finish the game yet, so I can't really say for certain that, it's as good as it is so far. But next year I will give my complete thoughts on it. We might put Silent Hill 3 off until then, but for now I'm gonna go with my original plan, which was to play another survival horror game that is similar to Silent Hill in a sense, but also is doing its own thing, and that game is Signalis. This game was released in, I want to say 2020, 2023. And I remember seeing previews for this game as it was coming out, but not really having any real interest in it. I mean, the images I saw on Steam definitely looked interesting, but it wasn't something that I felt the need to rush out and play. That is until I saw NitroRad's video on the game. NitroRad, he is a big fan of classic survival horror games, particularly the Silent Hill series. So when he made this video that you see here and just started singing its praises, I immediately decided that Signalis was a game that I wanted to play. So, and the Steam sale was right around the corner, so I picked it up, played it, and in the absence of something like Silent Hill or a new Resident Evil game, it was exactly what I wanted to play. Signalis is just fantastic, dude. I even recommended to my little brother, a kid who doesn't even play half the games I buy for him, and he openly acknowledged what a great game Signalis was. So rather than just get deeper into it because I haven't been able to find a whole lot of information on the development of this game, I'm just gonna go ahead and show it to you guys. Okay, so as to how I'm going to be playing this game, once again, going to be playing the Steam release of the game, which, again, unlike Resident Evil 2, I don't think there's any real benefit to playing this on PC versus playing it on Switch, PS4, PS5, or however you choose to play it. I'm just glad it's so widely available, but no matter what, just find a way to play this game. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. And unlike Resident Evil 2, I actually have the clock on me. Classic survival horror warning. And that right there is just a great title screen, just like the simplicity of the name as well as just the background noise, the flickering of it. I mean, that just sets the atmosphere right away. It's almost like a retro futuristic vibe that you would get from Alien or something. And I love this menu, dude. Like, this is just so cool. I mean, like, the way that the eye is rendered is both beautiful and also a little creepy. And the way it follows the cursor, it's almost like, you know, she's moving it with her eye. That's so cool. We're gonna start a new game. I love the anime vibe this has going for it. That might sound like a weird choice for a survival horror game, but it just works so well for it. It's a great stylized look. It's unique for the genre. Fantastic. And that motion, dude. Like, as I'm playing this game, sometimes I can't tell if I'm looking at a 2D game, 2D asset, or a 3D model. I always say it's kind of like what you would think a Resident Evil or a Silent Hill would be like if it was made for the Nintendo DS or Game Boy Advance. It's really cool. Now, one thing I do like about this game in comparison to other horror games is that, for starters, while it is using fixed camera angles, I say fixed, it's really more of a a top-down perspective. Because it's not using fixed camera angles or anything like that, it's able to use a full analog setup, so none of that tank control stuff, which I like. Again, tank controls and fixed camera angles can work just fine, but I much prefer it if it's an analog control. I just feel like it's smoother. I hate the clunkiness of those games. So something clearly went down here. Exploring, just trying to figure out and already getting a thick atmosphere from this. Giving you some tutorials. Oh, so it's a spaceship. This is actually really cool. And that sound effect you get when you pick something up, it's very heart pounding. Just the atmosphere of this game, it's so good. That's not good. Let's look at this photograph. And that's probably the solution to the problem that we saw earlier with that cryo bed. Man, just look at how the shadow moves. Man, that is good. I don't know if that's 2D or if that's a 3D image, but my God, it's well done. That's just downright artistic. Alright, so what did this thing say? Okay, so... And there is... nothing. Can I put these together? So I gotta do something with these. Right, looked at that. Can I go out here? No. Already looked at that. Don't need to be in here. Anything bet downstairs? Doesn't look like it. I remember being able to get in this earlier. And that's creepy right there. Can I just use it? I cannot. I gotta find a way to fix the key, obviously. Question is how? Once again, I wish I had more time to actually play this game before I had a chance to do this video for you guys. Come on, I want to be able to show more of the game. I figured this out once before, surely I can do it again. Maybe if I examine it. So it's saying I do need to find something to hold it together. Nothing in there. Give me 1 second, guys. It's telling me how to combine something. Ah, here we go. That's what I needed. So, combine. And now we can move on. Those first person bits are a little bit clunky, I will admit. Okay. A little introduction to the puzzle aspects of the game, so that's important. Again, I just dig this game's aesthetic. The cyberpunk anime is so cool. So, looks like we crash landed on a barren, deserted planet. Some kind of stretcher out here. Oh, that looks ominous. Yeah, this looks very ominous. Yeah, sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Already on barren, deserted planet. I don't think things can get much worse here. Well, this certainly isn't what I was expecting. Oh no. What is that, Russian? What is going on here? That was unnerving. Now what does that make you think of? Where on earth are we now? I guess this is where the game really starts. That does not sound good. Now I need to find some kind of key. Anything in my inventory? Here we go. Always with the locked doors. At least it shows you right away that they're locked. Unlike in Silent Hill, where you're constantly having to check the doors. I find it creepy that that camera is watching me. Corpse on the floor. And that probably looks pretty familiar too, doesn't it? What is this place? I don't have a key to get in there. Yeah, classic survival horror design at its finest, I'd say. Nothing to do but explore. Oh. What's going on here? Ah, so you're playing as an android. Also kind of reminds me of Silent Hill 2 in a way, how you meet certain characters, but you're not exactly there to help them, and they're not exactly there to help you either, so it doesn't necessarily give you any peace of mind to know that there's someone else there. Again, still loving the graphics in this game. This camera is still watching me. Guess there's something that's infecting the biologics of these androids. Okay, I have a protector card, so I can't use that. I said earlier how you can tell that the doors aren't going to open, but I can still keep clicking on them out of habit. I was hoping for a little bit more than this. I didn't mean to do that. And now I'm armed. basically telling you how to use the weapons. Again, did not want to go out of there. Nothing of interest in there. Alright. Let's equip our weapon. So combat in the game is pretty basic. You aim and shoot, and it's interesting that you can move and shoot at the same time, and you aim with the other stick. I remember when I played Signalis for the first time, I actually got a little confused with the controls. I'm so used to Resident Evil, where you encounter an enemy, and if you hold the aim button, your character will immediately point towards it. But, oh, now what? Gestalt. Once again, getting a serious survival horror vibe. Not a survival horror Silent Hill vibe. This is what I was coming for. Okay, so it's probably telling me the code to get in that one safe. Anyway, I would go to aim, and I would expect my character to immediately point their gun towards the enemy, but here you actually have to rotate your character. Now, I've complained about the lack of an auto-aim in Resident Evil games in the past, but it's not really a problem here because, again, given the perspective, you can always see what you're aiming at, and when you actually are pointed at the enemy, you'll actually get an indication that your mark will hit that red square that you saw appear on the enemy. So, yeah, combat in this game is actually very well done, and it's very much survival horror. You can't go plugging away at every enemy you see, and there are other weapons in the game that you have to manage as well. So, very well done. So, let's see. How do I get at my notes? Ah, here we go. What did this say? Okay, so 20, 45, 12. There you go. We got another card here. Classroom key. Isn't that what this is? It looks like that one fellow is gone. Repair patch, basically a health item. Always want more ammo. quite yet. Let's just take a look around this classroom first. Doesn't look like there's anything here, so let's just go. Yeah, that's cool. That's disturbing. Oh, that music is so cool. Just the industrial look of all this probably is bringing to mind the other world from Silent Hill as well. So I need to go down, don't I? Oh, the elevator controls are locked. I can't go that way. At least not yet. Where are we at on time? Got about 10 minutes left. Can I go this way? Why do I keep doing that? This looks safe. Kick them while they're down. Overall, I like the design of the characters. I do think it's a little weird that your character doesn't have feet. That's a little strange. Wonder what the thought process there was. Probably use the hatch key on this. I have the slightest clue what to do with this thing. Okay, so let's see. No. Okay, so let's put them all at the bottom first. Okay, so I think one is good. Move this up. One more should do it. There we go. I am so smart. Probably not. Can't go that way. I can go in here. I'm thinking of Metal Gear Solid for some reason. there's that red TV again. I just want to get a repair patch. And I guess this is infinite storage bin from Resident Evil. It's good that it took inspiration from both Silent Hill and Resident Evil, because both games do have strength and weakness. I would say that Silent Hill is better with the psychological horror and the exploration, and definitely has harder puzzles. But Resident Evil has the better gameplay approach to combat and everything. And basically the stun prods with these is the enemies come near you and you can take them out without having to use your ammo, but it's a one hit, one kill weapon, so it's not something you want to go reliant on. How did it say to use these? Press when nearby an enemy. And I don't have the code for that, so I need to look around a little bit more. Unlocks from the other side, so we'll go out this way. Whoop. It didn't say how to kick them while they're down. Guess I'm on the right path. These things are still around. Oh, that's a fan. Still hate that that camera is watching me. Ah, crap, out of ammo. Ah, that's how you kick them while they're down. Well, now I'm in a bad spot. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it right there, actually. So, Signalis. A really, really good game, and I'm surprised I don't hear more people talk about this one. I mean, obviously the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it does take its cues from Silent Hill. It's very psychological in its approach to horror, but at the same time, it's also doing its own thing. That sort of retro futuristic vibe it's got going is pretty cool. The anime aesthetic, while that might seem like an odd choice, it actually does fit with it pretty well. And it can be very unnerving at times. In addition to that, it's also a really good survival horror game. The resource management is great. The controls are rock solid. It's just a great game on all fronts, and it's, again, I don't understand why more people don't talk about this one. This is as good, if not better, than Resident Evil or Silent Hill. It's definitely worth your time if you're a fan of the genre. But that's going to do it for tonight, guys. If you enjoyed tonight's content, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to be posting these videos every Saturday, typically at 8 o'clock. If I have a chance to go live, I will be sure to do that as well. And if there is any game you'd like me to cover in this format, please be sure to leave it in the comments. And if I think it's worth playing, I'll go ahead and check it out. But anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, guys. Have a good work week.